Scribe in Black Press presents an unabridged recording of The Brothers Doom, a tale of We the Immortals by Luke Warfield. Read aloud by Luke Warfield. Copyright Luke Warfield, all rights reserved. Part 5. On a tall ostrix of piebald feathers there sat a man, clad in the same tattered uniform coat of the Free Army enlisted. He was a fat, grizzled fellow, with stubby arms and legs, and a pan-flat nose that produced a boar-like aspect at first glance. Despite the grim patches of fur about the mouth, Colt Doom recognized the caller immediately. "Bull?" he said, astonished. "Bull Fisher?" "Well, I'll be Colt Doom, darlin'," ejaculated the rider with equal astonishment. "What good fortune is this? I ain't set eyes on ye what be it now? Why, o'er 10 years." Bull's face changed, shock giving way to shadow as he eyed the grave, then surveyed the surrounding parcel, taking in all there was about the scene. "What happened here? Where's old man Boy?" "Blasting oil done it," said Colt, lowering his head. "Jaith, The big bob in Bull's fleshy neck dunked. "Gods be dashed! So that's what that was. Heard the report. Thought a cannon went off or such like." Colt nodded, choking on a volley of grief that sought to rise up and strangle him. "I'm so sorry, my dear brother. Took me all this time to find him. The both of you, I reckon." Colt nodded. "Heard you came by the farm." "Aye, a few years back." Silence. Then, "Why'd you run off for?" "When you disappeared, we all thought we done something. When you ne'er got home, thought the worst I did." Colt opened his mouth to speak, but closed it immediately without reply, and the two men lingered in still more silence for an extensive spell. Colt felt ashamed of himself. After everything they had been through together, to leave their comrades blindly grasping in a fog of conjecture, and without so much as a goodbye note, was truly unforgivable. But what else were they to do? Would anyone have believed them? Would they have understood? Grief and longing fizzed up inside him again, and this time Colt Doom could do nothing to stop its outflow. "Remember when them Grews escaped the Chayote Haven, and they sent our Reg out to catch 'em?" said Colt. "The ones that killed some of Silk's boys that time?" "I'll ne'er forget it," said Bull, adjusting himself in the saddle. The ostrix squawked. "Little Boots pushed us day and night for a week, no respite. Thank our blessed Lady Thyatra them fairies' wings was still clipped, otherwise we'd a ne'er caught up to 'em. Little Boots would a tramped us all o'er the Western Theater a-searchin', and we wouldn't a come back till they was found or perdition took us. Ne'er one to lose out on a pursuit, our old rough and ready." "Bet he weren't." Colt loosed a wan smile. "But we paid them primitives back, ain't we? Whooped 'em down to their last, and then took their wings and left their corpses to burn on the stacks. Showed them sprites the right hand of free justice." "Wall, about that night, Bull." And so Colt Doom told his comrade everything. He began with how, after tracking down, battling, and subsequently destroying every member of that fugitive angel band aforementioned, a skirmish in which Bull Fisher was, admittedly, a participant, the task of procuring the slain chieftain's wings fell unto Colt and Jaith jointly. At that very moment, in the darkness of the Chimney Stack Mountain caves, and before either brother's blade could taste one particle of feather or bone, the silver-haired angel suddenly awakened, his gray, drifting eyes dim in death. Raising one bloodied hand, the angel proceeded to whisper in the language of his race, pronouncing over Colt and Jaith what they could only interpret to be the most terrible of curses. Brother against brother. Who lives? Who dies? The battle decides. Brother against brother. Was it indeed a curse? A mere whimsical proverb? Perhaps it was nothing more than a neutral foretelling flashing before the eyes of a fading soul. Nevertheless, the interpretation was clear, even if the brothers knew not how they fully understood it. At an unknown time, and upon an undisclosed ground, Colt and Jaith Doom would take up pistol and saber, and in the same fashion they had made war against the Chaote Angels, so would they battle each other to the death. And when the last cold wind blew through the mountain caves on that fateful night in the great state of South Nebron, taking with it the soul of that immortal chieftain, the oracle was sealed in their hearts. The brothers Doom believed in the angel's prophecy, through and through, mind to marrow, soul to souls. With every atom of their being, they believed. Colt began to shake. He paced back and forth, sweat rolling down his sable visage. All those secrets locked away for so long, necrotizing like a gangrenous wound. He breathed heavily, shoulders palsying as a man possessed by unquenching laughter. Next, he spoke of his pact with Jaith, an oath ratified with bloody palms the very morning of their discharge from military service. "We aim to fight this curse by going our separate ways," Colt said. "We took vows never to see each other again in all our lives. We was supposed to change our names, cut off all past associations, and we could never write or visit home. Most importantly, we'd never tell a soul. We also agreed that whoever broke the pact was the one the curse would kill." Colt carried on, speaking of the 12 years of estrangement following, of their various pursuits to build lives for themselves in the southeast and northwest respectively. He emphasized their desperation, and how it drove them to eventually seeking out the help of wizards and tremblers alike. He also unpacked, at length, the torturous paranoia surrounding their afeared early deaths and the constant barrage of endless nightmares in which they hunted down and killed each other in their own beds. By the end, the brothers Doom had become hermits both, Colt shut up in his big city hotel room, and Jaith confined to his secluded mountain homestead, driven mad by visions of death lurking down every alley and under every rock. It was a madness that ultimately spurred Colt to action, to the mountains, to Jaith. When Colt had finished, he sighed a deep exculpation of air. It was done. His confession, his absolution, maybe. Bull Fisher watched him, an expression of astonishment splattered across the man's flabby jowls. Were those tears welling in his eyes, too? Did he believe? "Reckon it sounds crazy, Bull," Colt said, feeling suddenly self-conscious. "But I swears to ye, we ain't never took no issue with ye or the boys. We ain't mean to insult any of ye. That's the God's honest crack." Something hot and wet burst through Colt's throat. He coughed as he groped about his windpipe in an involuntary act of defense. Blood. It sluiced down his chest like a floodplain, the sudden revelation that he had been shot inundating his mind along with all its implications. Colt looked to Bull Fisher dumbfounded. The fat man sat on his bird, a smoking pistol in his left hand, drawn faster than the speed of thought, it seemed. Colt couldn't believe the turn of events before him. That man, Bull Fisher, their friend. Yes, those were tears. The man was sobbing indeed. "I'm sorry, Colt darlin'," said Bull Fisher. "I couldn't help it. I must confess, I can't live with it no more myself." Colt fell down, the world dimming away as the currency of life drained from its mortal strong-room. "You told me, so now I'll tell you back," Bull continued. "It all makes sense. I believe you see. Them infernal dreams, I been having 'em too. Visions they is. I sees them always. I sees the old boys from the Reg comin' to kill me. I didn't believe it at first, but then, one day, 5 years ago, Deke Lent comes to me. Deke, he tries to kill me. But I held out and killed him first. Then I knew these weren't just dreams, Colt darlin'. They was real. The boys, they was really comin' for me. So I rode out to find 'em and get 'em all first. Get 'em all before they get me. I found Phelp Wheeler in New Fiorin. Shot him dead like I done you now. I even got me Little Boots. He warn't so easy. But I did it. I got him. That's why I went to visit your ma and pa's place back then. I went not to check up on you, but to kill you. Finally caught up with you in Keoma, and by luck it seems. Followed you here. And, well, you know the rest. I'm sorry, Colt. I'm so sorry. I believe you. Your tale, it validates. Please forgive me. I promise you, when it's all o'er, I'll make them Grews pay. I'll make 'em pay 100-fold for every one o' you lost. Colt Doom's vision had already turned black. He heard the ostrix's talons wheel and patter off down the trail, the sobs of the rider fading away like the world. The last thing Colt Doom heard that morning, the final sound in the span of his lifetime, was the report of a distant gun. Not the pistol old Bull Fisher had leveled upon him, but a rifle shot of great power over great distance, superseded by the squeal of an ostrix.